What if I told you that Jack Grealish played 90 full minutes of professional soccer with a broken foot? January 19, 2026. Everton versus Aston Villa. 1-0. Grealish completes the entire match, full 90, running, cutting, creating chances. The very next day, training session at Finch Farm. He can barely walk. Diagnosis: stress fracture. Timeline: 12 weeks minimum. World Cup hopes: catastrophic uncertainty. Here's the question: how does a 30-year-old elite athlete perform at peak capacity while his bone is literally crumbling beneath him? The answer involves teenage superstitions, undersized children's equipment, and a neurochemical conspiracy your body runs without your permission. This is the medical mystery of Jack Grealish, and the clock to the 2026 World Cup is already ticking. Let's rewind to that Aston Villa match. 90 minutes. Grealish doesn't limp, doesn't wince, doesn't signal the medical staff once. Meanwhile, inside his foot, a catastrophic biological failure is accelerating. Your bones aren't solid like concrete. They're more like living sponges, constantly breaking down and rebuilding. Every single day, specialized cells called osteoclasts act like microscopic demolition crews, removing damaged bone tissue. Then osteoblasts, the construction workers, rebuild stronger bone in its place. A stress fracture happens when the demolition crew works faster than the construction crew can keep up. Imagine renovating a bridge while cars keep driving over it. Eventually, something has to give. Week 1 to 2. The bone becomes porous, like Swiss cheese. Mechanically weaker, the athlete feels absolutely nothing. Week 2 to 4, microscopic cracks accumulate, like hairline fractures spreading across a car windshield. The bone becomes brittle. Still no pain. Week 4 and beyond. The body tries emergency repairs, but if you keep playing, the demolition overwhelms the construction. Grealish played that full 90 minutes during weeks 3 or 4 of this biological countdown. His foot was structurally compromised. So why didn't he feel it? The answer is adrenaline. During high-intensity competition, adrenaline levels spike 15 to 20 times above baseline. Elite athletes experience even higher surges because their adrenal glands have physically enlarged over years of training. Professional athletes have turbocharged adrenaline factories. That adrenaline actively suppresses pain through your central nervous system. Deep brain structures activate descending pain inhibition pathways. Translation: your brain chemically mutes the alarm bells. It's like turning down the volume on a fire alarm while the building burns. Grealish's body was screaming structural failure. His brain? Radio silence. The very adaptation that makes elite athletes elite becomes the biological blind spot that masks catastrophic injury. But here's where this gets truly disturbing. His equipment choices may have actively engineered this disaster. Jack Grealish is 5'11", 165 pounds, significantly undersized for elite wingers. But that's not the problem. The problem is what he wears on his feet. Child-sized shin pads, undersized soccer boots, socks rolled down to his ankles. When asked why, Grealish said, quote, "The smaller the tougher the player." This aesthetic choice started when he was 15 because his training socks kept shrinking. He's maintained it ever since as superstition. Here's the biological price tag. Football boots generate 30 to 50% higher peak pressures than running shoes. We're talking more than 4 times the pressure non-athletes experience. Now restrict that foot volume artificially with undersized boots. Those already extreme pressures concentrate even further, particularly at the base of the 5th metatarsal. This happens during 2 specific movements. Movement 1, set-piece kicks. His stance leg experiences extreme positioning. The 5th metatarsal has to manage massive bending loads. Think of it like using a toothpick to pry open a paint can, over and over again. Movement 2, his signature explosive lateral cuts. The 5th metatarsal absorbs punishment it was never designed to handle repeatedly. Now add the low socks. Compression socks and proper ankle support reduce peak pressure by approximately 19%. By rolling his socks down, Grealish forfeits roughly 20% pressure reduction that would otherwise protect his foot. Grealish's explosive playing style overwhelmed his body's natural pain avoidance mechanisms. His equipment choices amplified the stress. His adrenaline response masked the warnings. The fracture was inevitable. But this isn't Grealish's first structural failure. Not even close. July 29, 2017, preseason friendly against Watford. Grealish collides with Tom Cleverley. Medical examination reveals a ruptured kidney. Life-threatening emergency. Immediate surgery. 3-month sideline. Throughout his career, Grealish has sustained approximately 4 documented stress-related shin injuries. Total injuries documented, 12. Total days missed, 452 days. That's 1.2 complete seasons. Pep Guardiola said it plainly in February 2025, quote, "The reason Jack didn't play much was because he was not able. He had niggles and problems." This metatarsal stress fracture that may be the culmination of chronic lower limb overload. Every prior injury leaves scar tissue. Scar tissue is like repairing a rope with duct tape. It holds, but it's never quite the same. And there's one more complication. Grealish is 30 years old. Peak bone mass occurs around age 30. After that, bone undergoes gradual loss. The bone-building cells plateau and decline. His body's repair capacity is declining precisely when he needs it most. So what's the treatment? 2002. David Beckham fractures his metatarsal 51 days before the World Cup. Conservative treatment. Result? 8-week recovery. Made the squad. Captained England's opening match. Scored the winning penalty against Argentina. 2006. Wayne Rooney fractures his metatarsal 42 days before the World Cup. Conservative treatment. Result? Made the squad but performance severely compromised. Failed to score. Sent off in the quarterfinal. 2026. Jack Grealish. 14 weeks before World Cup squad announcement. Now, here's what's changed. Surgical fixation with an internal rod has become the gold standard. Conservative treatment, 60 to 70% success rate. Surgical, 89 to 100%. Return to play timeline, 9 to 10 weeks post-surgical versus 12 to 16 weeks conservative. Best case scenario with surgery, late March return, 10 weeks before World Cup squad announcement. But there's one variable no one can control, Thomas Tuchel's selection philosophy. Tuchel became England manager in January 2025. His philosophy, quote, "We don't select players only for talent, but also for what they can bring." Translation: fitness and match sharpness matter more than reputation. Grealish would have only approximately 4 weeks of competitive matches before squad announcement. Tuchel's historical pattern requires 4 to 6 weeks of consistent football for tournament readiness. The lesson from Beckham versus Rooney is instructive. Beckham succeeded because his fracture location had biomechanical advantages. Rooney struggled because despite bone union, he lacked adequate match fitness. Grealish faces Rooney's problem with additional complications: age 30, chronic injury history, equipment choices that reduce protective feedback. Jack Grealish played 90 minutes with a progressing stress fracture because elite adrenaline responses masked structural failure. His equipment choices amplified the risk. His chronic injury history suggests cumulative overload. At 30, his bone repair capacity is declining. Surgery offers the best timeline. But even perfect healing leaves him racing against time to prove World Cup readiness to a manager who prioritizes fitness over talent. Whether Grealish becomes the next Beckham or the next Rooney remains to be determined in the next 14 weeks. What do you think? Does Grealish make the World Cup squad? Drop your prediction in the comments. Subscribe, because the next injury breakdown might save your season.